They
different,
do. Yeah, they look
drastically different.
a little too real.
Like they got hit by an Instagram filter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People online are pretty unhappy about DLSS 5.
Okay.
What is the filter? What was that article? Yassified is the term being thrown around.
Yes.
Or every character looks like a airbrushed influencer.
From DogHouseSystems.com, this is the DogHouse Podcast.
Another day, another fantastic DogHouse Systems podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Abby.
What's up?
And Robert.
Greetings.
Hello. How are you both doing?
I'm doing good.
I can't complain. It's getting warmer out there.
It is. Yeah, we had a cold snap earlier this week. Well, we'll start things off pretty quickly with Intel announcing a few different SKUs for desktop and mobile. The new Intel Core Ultra 200S Plus series desktop processors, which is a little bit of a mouthful.
Say that 5 times fast.
Right, yeah. The Intel Core Ultra 270K Plus and the Intel Core Ultra 5 250K Plus. Each one comes in with an extra 4 E-cores compared to its previous counterpart and a little bit higher clock rate.
All right. What's the difference between E-cores and P-cores?
That is a great question. For gaming, you're pretty much always relying on your P-cores.
Okay.
So for gaming, the only benefit you'll get from these is the higher clock rate, the higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But in multi-threaded workloads, or for content creation, or if you're doing multiple actual things on your PC at the same time, running a game and streaming, or you have 1,000,001 Chrome tabs open, you might see a benefit there. But for gaming, it's really going to be that clock rate increase.
Okay.
They also support higher clocked memory. So up to DDR5 7200 megatransfers per second out of the box without overclocking, and up to 8,000 megatransfers per second with overclocking, which is pretty fast. Current kits we offer around 6,000 megahertz. The mobile line is more of the same, just a little bit faster, higher clocked memory support, but you do not get the benefit of additional E-cores on the mobile parts. Same number of cores, just higher frequency on the CPU and available higher frequency on compatible memory.
Okay.
So stay tuned for those. I believe we will be hands-on with the desktop parts here in a few days or maybe a week. We don't have any hands-on time scheduled yet with the mobile parts. And those will be available in about a week. The desktop parts to purchase. Not from us, just generally in the channel.
So would you say that the 270K, which is their highest level CPU, is based off just numbers alone, because of course you haven't had a chance to use it, is the best CPU that Intel can offer right now?
For gaming, probably. Yeah, they haven't released a Core Ultra 9 S Plus series SKU. So with the performance improvement you're getting on that Ultra 7 200S Plus series, to make sure I get those in the right order, that'll probably be as fast, if not a little bit faster, just for strictly gaming than the Ultra 9 part. But the Ultra 9 does have many more E-cores and P-cores.
Okay.
In other news, Nintendo was suing the U.S. government. Nintendo.
What is it? Insert the dun dun dun.
Exactly, yeah. Nintendo had filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government for refunds, including interest, of any charges related to tariffs. That, however, has been paused until another case has been resolved from the International Trade Court, which is on its way to Supreme Court. So until the International Trade Court has resolved their lawsuit, no other lawsuit can supersede or progress beyond just being filed. In, I guess, slightly related Nintendo news, Niantic, their Pokemon Go positional data is now being used to help delivery robots navigate.
Okay.
Wow.
So, and I believe you were warned about this when you created your Pokemon Go account, signed up to play, but location data, pictures that the game took while you were playing, all this mapping data that's being collected while you play and interact in the real world through Pokemon Go was being collected and used to create like a navigation model and a database for locations. And that's now going to help navigate by centimeter accurate navigation for delivery robots, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, never a fan of data being harvested and going into a large, database, but the tech itself is cool. Just, I do remember signing up for Pokemon Go and then that being a warning, like, hey, we do have the right to use this for other purposes.
Okay.
Not great for a free game. I guess if something, my long held belief is if something is free, then you are the product or you are providing the product. So, did either of you play Pokemon Go?
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. Those Pokeballs they want you to buy are definitely not free.
Oh, no.
No, no. Yeah, no. If you run out, they will gladly take your money to replenish your Pokeballs and your potions and stuff. Yeah.
Gladly. Yep. I just went around every once in a while and just checked it out.
Yeah.
I knew one of my friends, she was really into it for quite a while. She's like, we should be friends on it. And I was like, okay. Sure.
Yeah, we got into it for a little while. We would walk around our neighborhood. There was one night, this is maybe about a year ago, I was out walking my dog kind of late, and there was a guy just pacing back and forth. Kind of in the dark. It's like 10. I'm like, oh no, am I in danger? And he came over. It turns out it was one of our neighbors. He said, hey, are you playing Pokemon Go? I said, no, I'm just walking my dog. He said, oh, well, if you do, you should head over there. And he pointed to, a local landmark. He's like, there's something going on over there. You got to go. Kind of like, I'm not going there in the middle of the night.
Now we know how the people in the Pokemon universe feel when there's someone runs up to them and wants to fight them with the
Right.
Pokeballs.
Yeah.
It's like,
Why is oh, that no.
guy standing behind that tree.
Yeah.
Fight me.
No, but
It just, I kept capturing the same Pokemon over and over and over again.
it's realistic. You're not going to find, a legendary sitting in the parking lot or,
Yeah, I
at the local
understand
park.
that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you think they could like mix them up a little bit.
Maybe like every 100 that you encounter, you get something different.
Yeah,
hopefully. Or
they
maybe
just
every
they
10.
just start evolving.
Yeah.
I joined before, I think they eventually added it to where you could battle other people's Pokemon.
Oh,
I'm not,
could you?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I was a very early
Yeah,
player.
I
didn't
joined
play
way
that.
before then, and that's the main reason I left, because I thought you'd be able to do that on release or do anything really with the Pokemon, but I think it was mostly just collecting.
I think so. And then there were raids.
Yeah, 'cause-
like boss
there's
battles.
raids,
That-
and you go to a huge landmark where there's one big Pokemon
Yeah.
to fight.
Yeah, I think it came out maybe during 2020. So that was the huge push, was after it was calmed down. They were like, to get you back outside, here's a fun.
Oh,
Was
I
it
didn't realize-
pre-COVID?
It said, disclaimer, according to the Google AI overview summary, which we know is always going to be accurate,
Yeah.
was released early 2016.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That lines up.
I
think, yeah.
just remember the push in the early 2020 to get people out of their houses.
Yeah, I think people were spoofing their location data to travel around.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
teleport to the next Pokestop
Yeah.
or next landmark.
Yeah.
I don't think they fixed the VPN thing till months in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you could just hop around the entire world.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I wonder if you would just find electric Pokemon, because you'd technically be at a data center.
Oh,
If you can only find electric Pokemon. Well, if you downloaded a game from Steam and were part of a scam, as the article puts it, the FBI wants to hear from you.
if you're one of the people who downloaded a malware game from Steam within the last few years, you should reach out to the FBI, because they're looking for people to come forward with some information as they're doing whatever it is they're looking into it for. The specific games that they've identified to have malware contained in them are Block Blasters, Kimia, Dashverse /-FPS, Lampy, Lunara, Pirate FI, and Toki Nova. As noted by the FBI, these games primarily operated between May 2024 and January 2026. So if you've been affected, you can contact the FBI at steam_malware@fbi.gov to report there, or you can fill out a form on the FBI website providing your information like your Steam ID, what game you downloaded, and at what time you downloaded it. It will additionally ask if you were contacted to play the game and just how much the scam resulted in your losses, or just how much losses the scam resulted in.
Yeah, if you have played any of those games, please uninstall and run a malware check on your PC. I think we talked about Pirate Fi in the past. That name rings a bell, but I don't recognize any of the other
Blockblasters.
Blockblasters.
I actually recall a case that this happened in. It was a streamer raising money for his cancer treatment, and he raised $32,000, and they eventually took all of it, and he got scammed out of all that money.
Wow, that's terrible.
I think that's what popularized this whole Steam and the malware stuff.
Right.
Because he eventually made a GoFundMe, and I think double, or he definitely made that money back in a short amount of time.
We did talk about Pirate Fi.
We did? Okay.
Yeah.
The name rang a bell. Yeah.
Because it was one of those free-to-play games that was released about a year ago that had malicious code in it.
Fantastic. So he did end up getting...
Yeah, he did
for
get
his
up the
treatment.
money
Okay.
for his treatment.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
Just
it's
unfortunate the way that it had to
Yeah.
Yeah,
come about.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to the internet at large, and shout down to the people scamming people in the games. I don't know.
Be mean to the scammers.
Yeah. Not great.
Meanwhile, Encyclopedia Britannica is opening a lawsuit against OpenAI for copyright infringement.
I feel like this is going to be the next couple years of headlines.
Oh, yeah. So in a complaint that Britannica filed last week with their subsidiary, Merriam-Webster, they accused OpenAI of scraping nearly 100,000 copyrighted articles for their training. They also claim that ChatGPT provides very similar responses to Britannica's content, thereby limiting the web traffic and revenue that they generate for both Britannica and Merriam-Webster. They also included screenshots. So they brought receipts to show how close these responses are.
Yeah. OpenAI is arguing in the case that our models empower innovation and are trained on publicly available data and grounded in fair use.
Sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it might be fair use and publicly available to an actual person looking for the information, but when a company's entire model, pun intended, AI model, is based on scraping the internet for every piece of information available and then just regurgitating it for a fee or for a user interaction, I think my personal opinion is that there should be different rules governing those two interactions. You, the user, going there to read it for free. And a company scraping it for free.
They're also accusing OpenAI of trademark infringement, basically saying that they have omitted portions of explanations or wrongly attribute the publisher to incomplete or inaccurate responses.
Wow. So they... again, this is my personal take
chat would be giving you the wrong answer and then blaming it on Britannica.
Yeah, citing a source, but incorrectly citing or misrepresenting the information being cited. Wow.
I feel like it was only a matter of time before any AI model got sued for something like this along these lines.
Yeah. I also just learned that OpenAI, or ChatGPT specifically, has ads.
Really?
You now get ads at the bottom of your responses.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Are they ads pertaining to your conversation?
No.
So it's not like, hey, how do I cook this? And then there's an ad for DoorDash or,
no, it's just like a random little ad that is just like a little blurb. And I was like, what is this? And they were like, it's an ad. And I was like, why do you have ads now?
outside of that, similar to what you just asked, if you ask for a product amongst some, like, if you ask for like, what are a good pair of headphones, they are allowed to like link products as well.
Oh, really?
And show just
Okay.
direct products.
They do link. Yeah.
So if you were to ask what is the best to get you a pair of headphones,
Yeah.
you may be getting just the highest bidder on that ad placement for headphones, not the best rated one.
I'm not
This
sure.
is my speculation. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both.
So would it? I don't know. So it's just my speculation. So would
Yeah.
it be, hey, here is a list of the top 10 best headphones, but you should really buy this one? Or is it, here is your list, also here is an ad for headphones?
That's
Okay.
that's what it would be. But the ads don't really like match up. Like I think I don't remember like any of them that I've seen, but
Yeah.
it's been on, sections that have absolutely nothing to do with whatever the ad's about. So they're just kind of like randomly generated from probably a bank of them that people
Just like,
pay for.
Google or YouTube AdSense, like
Yeah.
these are the people targeting these users,
Mm-hmm.
the ad companies targeting these users.
Yeah. So they probably get their data from whoever's, wanting to generate the ad.
Solid. Okay. Have you had any like random ads, like stuff that you think, why I would never be interested, or are they semi interesting? Like, are they targeted or are they just random stuff?
I haven't seen any ads.
Oh, you have not? Okay.
I think they're just random
Okay.
for right now.
I'm sure in the future it could be based off your past conversations with it. I'm guessing is what you're thinking on.
I'm wondering, like, when we're discussing something here, like I've got my phone here. Like, is it going to be showing me ads for, I don't know if OpenAI runs ads, but where you'll research something or talk about something and then all of your banner ads on every site
Yeah.
are just that specific thing for a while. Yeah.
Instagram. If you're talking about some of your friends, you're gonna be getting OLED monitor ads for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you that know, Robert's been shopping for a monitor. Yeah. So probably all of his ads are for monitors. Yeah.
Because they know you're in the market for a monitor.
Yeah, but I didn't look it up online. I just had a conversation. These people.
That's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a little worse, but okay.
All right. I never thought that this would happen. But Google's Gemini, OpenAI's ChatGPT, and Microsoft Copilot are making their way to the United States Senate.
Before you talk about the article, my personal take on this is give it about 3 months and we will see headlines that sensitive data was leaked via these chat tools. Not the position of Doghouse Systems. My personal position is I think that's very likely. If not already has happened, if it hasn't already happened.
In a memo seen by the New York Times, staffers and aides were given permission to use Copilot to, quote, help with routine Senate work, including drafting and editing documents, summarizing information, preparing talking points and briefing material, and conducting research and analysis, end quote. So everything you probably don't want an AI to do, you can now have it do in the Senate.
I think you can use LLMs and chatbot tools. They can be pretty helpful. But if there's something that's sensitive, you probably don't want to just type it into Copilot or paste it in or upload a document to, even not just Copilot, Microsoft, any company's public cloud. Yeah.
The memo seems to omit Anthropic's Claude, which has been
And a little bit of hot water, we'll say, with the U.S. government.
With the U.S. government. However, they did say that there are restrictions on sensitive use cases, such as handling sensitive data or drafting speeches. I love how drafting speeches is considered sensitive data and not drafting and editing.
Not drafting. Like drafting speeches is the speech will be publicly presented.
Right.
Yeah.
Editing documents is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because
Drafting documents seems crazy to me.
Again, this is our individual personal opinions.
The question that I have is what makes drafting a speech different than preparing talking points?
That is a good question.
So why are talking points and briefing material included in what you can do, but drafting a speech is not?
I don't know. I don't know that anyone knows. Maybe the AI that helped draft the announcement can shed some insight on this. Maybe talking points for internal things is okay, but public-facing announcements are not okay to be AI generated.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't.
We'll see how well that goes.
I wonder how the speeches are going to sound like in the Senate now. They're going to be like, well, that was a very good point you had there. However,
Emojis.
That's your AI voice?
that's a good AI voice.
Yeah, that is a good AI voice. That's AI 3, in
Yeah.
case you're looking for it on the voice generator.
This memo comes after last year Business Insider revealed that there were dozens of lawmakers who allowed staff to use AI tools. So it's kind of already been in the Senate, but now it's been confirmed that yes, you can use
Now
these.
they're just given the green light to use it instead of it being a gray area.
Yes. So I guess we'll see where this ends up leading.
I wonder if they're using Grammarly to do all of this.
Grammarly is also in some hot water. They rolled out an expert review feature that they have since turned off.
Had either of you heard of this before? Because I had not, and when I read about the premise of the expert review, I almost fell out of my chair. Like, how could this possibly be a thing?
I've never heard of it.
No,
What is the expert review thing?
So I actually haven't, but I have been using Grammarly since I was in college.
Yeah, it's a good tool.
It's a very good tool. I love it. I don't love all of the AI stuff that they are doing now just because I liked it as a check and make sure the sentence makes sense. Check and make sure that, I actually spelt everything correctly. Because for people that know me, I misspell so many words. It's crazy. Anyways, this expert review feature presents suggestions that mimic the writing styles of journalists, authors, and academics, including Stephen King and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Now, before you ask Robert, no, they were not asked and they did not give consent for the expert review to mimic their writing style.
They were not.
Oh, that's messed up.
The feature also uses details from tech writers, as spotted by The Verge, that includes some of the publication's own staff, others from Bloomberg, IGN, Tom's Guide, and others. They were hit with so the parent company of Grammarly was slapped with a lawsuit on Thursday from one of the journalists who was quoted as an expert in its tool. The suit said, quote, Grammarly never sought or obtained consent from Miss Julia Angwin, pardon me if I mispronounce her last name, or other experts whose names and identities Grammarly misappropriated in the expert review tool, end quote. They go on to say that this conduct violates New York and California laws that require a person's consent before using their name for commercial purposes.
It is amazing to me how I imagine Grammarly and Superhuman are pretty large companies, how they could develop a feature that says, hey, you know that guy Robert of the DogHouse System podcast? Let's edit your work to make it sound like he's reviewed it. And we'll give you the thoughts that we think he would have had on your work and give you feedback based on that. We're not going to ask him, though, and we're not going to get his permission to do that. But yeah, here's what he would have said on it.
Yeah. I got to wonder how those reviews actually look. Like for Stephen King, how do you even mimic the writing style of Stephen King in a correction review? Like, oh, you better fix that punctuation or you'll float too.
Yeah, or what about this idea? Have you thought about phrasing it this way?
I think it's probably more of have you considered writing it this way?
In a way that they would write it?
In a way that Stephen King would write it.
Ah, okay.
So the feature was first launched in August of 2025. So it's been up for quite a little bit of time. But they have now introduced an option to have experts opt out.
That's good. That probably should have been well, asking for the ability to use someone's
Not
likeness.
putting the feature in would probably have been the very first, or asking permission before launching.
It said, "Hey, Stephen King, could we make a tool to mimic your editing, your
writing style?" Yeah.
Did it explicitly say it was under the writing style of this person? Like, you can write it more like Stephen King, or was it like just?
I believe so. I think that's what the lawsuit probably hinges on, is that it claimed that.
That's very interesting move on their part to do that.
Oh, Grammarly has an AI agents directory.
So it just tells you a list of people that you could write like.
Oh, they have a AI grader, a citation finder, reader reactions, a humanizer, a proofreader, a paraphraser, a detector, and a plagiarism checker.
Grammarly is so much more than what it was when I used
Look, man,
it.
I wanted it to tell me if I was plagiarizing anything because I got so worried in college. Crazy.
Did it say a humanizer?
A human, yeah.
And I wonder, does that mean that it's making AI stuff sound more human?
That's what it sounds like
your
to me.
AI-assisted writing sound more natural and engaging without changing what you mean to
But
say.
then they will also check it for AI use. Or that's a separate tool they have.
Check your writing for AI-generated content and know exactly where you need to edit.
Jeez.
They're really cornering all sides of the market here.
Yeah, you can also see how your writing might land with readers and get tips on revising your writing for the impact that you want and get feedback aligning with your rubric and course information.
To specifically call out education goals.
Plus, you get an estimated grade.
Wow.
You can also auto-generate citations as you write.
How long ago do you think it last was when you used Grammarly?
Oh, I mean, like 5 or 6 years ago. Was it around? Yeah, it was around 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Like a month ago.
No.
Like a month ago?
It'd be a while.
I use it quite frequently sometimes if I am writing captions and content and blog posts primarily. Yeah. Just because I want to make sure that the sentences flow and doesn't sound like I...
You got to humanize it. Yeah, you got to humanize it.
I'm sure that's a reasonable use for it. And I'm sure there's plenty of people like teenagers going around using Grammarly to upgrade their writing. When what they should be worrying about is the fact that WhatsApp is launching preteen accounts with parental controls and built-in limits.
Yeah.
If you're worried about letting your child use WhatsApp, the platform's new parent-managed accounts may ease some concerns.
And these are for kids under the age of 13. So anybody that is not a teenager. Anybody who is a tweenager.
Yeah, that is very young teen.
Preteen.
These accounts support just calling and messaging features, including built-in privacy settings that can only be modified by guardians. Once the account is set up, preteens won't be able to access advanced features like Meta AI, status updates, chat lock, app lock, location sharing, view once messages, disappearing messages, and linked devices. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of features taken down.
But even the permitted features have limitations.
Even the permitted features?
Yes. For example, only saved contacts will be able to send messages, like the profile picture, read account information, and view the last online status of a parent-managed account. If kids receive messages from unknown contacts or gets invited to an unknown group, they will be sent to a request folder for parental approval.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And parents will also be notified of new message requests on their kids' phones, as well as other account activity, such as when their kid adds a new contact or exits a pre-approved group chat.
I think that's perfectly fine for preteens. I think you should, as a parent, be aware who your child is talking to online. And this makes it really easy to do and limit the fact that they can just contact anyone around the world.
Yeah.
Yep. So these accounts are rolling out gradually, and it will take time to reach all regions. You will have to set up the account with both of your phones. Side by side is what they recommend. So they'll have you basically scan a QR code once you get into creating a parent managed account and verifying their age and giving a phone number. Yeah. So then the parents can go in, create a 6-digit PIN, and then the PIN you will enter it on the kid's phone, set up managing the account. Bingo, bango, you both got a...
Please do not use your birth date, the birthday of your children, or an easily guessed PIN for your parental PIN.
Yeah.
Because your child could probably guess that. Just would be my security advice.
So not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2-digit birthday.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Yeah.
Backward. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I see that as a win.
Good stuff forward. I did not know about this one. Yeah.
What is this?
If we had a video, you would have just saw Lorenzo shaking his head so confused.
This little happy robot looking vehicle.
Yes. So Amazon has what is called Zoox, Zoox. They are free rides, I believe. I'm not exactly certain, but Amazon and Uber have now teamed up to allow customers in Vegas and Los Angeles to book these rides through the Uber app. So the partnership is going into effect in the summer and then next in Vegas and then next year in Los Angeles. And Uber says that there'll be way more details as they get closer to launch.
They are currently free because the company has yet to receive approval from the federal government to offer paid rides.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the first time that Zoox has partnered with a third-party service for ride hailing. They do offer public rides in Vegas through their own app, and says that they will continue to do so even as they go onto the Uber app. Now, this ride service is completely different from Waymo's cars and Tesla's because theirs don't have steering wheels or pedals. They resemble toasters and the passengers sit facing each other on the inside.
So they're not a modified passenger vehicle.
Yes.
Okay.
So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration began accepting public comments on the petition to deploy 2,500 robo-taxis without a steering wheel. So they are also available for public rides in San Francisco. Those interested can sign up and join a wait list, and they are conducting trials in Atlanta, Austin, Miami, Los Angeles, Seattle, and Washington. And they plan to begin tests in Dallas and Phoenix as well.
So are you guys going to ride in a Zoox when they eventually come to Dallas, if they're still free?
Probably not. I'm not in, we're in DFW, but I'm not personally in Dallas enough to need one.
I didn't. That's
you
how
know,
they sit.
That looks like the monorail
Yeah.
at Disney World.
Yeah. It looks like a little, it looks like a Disney monorail.
That is pretty cool. Would you ride in one?
Yeah, I'd probably ride in one.
Yeah.
They look cool. They're free.
Would you ride in one, Abby?
Maybe not. I am the designated driver for a lot of things because I cannot willingly get in a car with someone if I have not driven with them before. I get so much anxiety. Driving with my sister makes me anxious.
I'd probably go train if I'm doing top to bottom list. Train, trolley, bus. This
Bus over this?
I think so. My last experience on Dart Bus was pretty good, but that was also 10 years ago. I haven't ridden one, but we used to take them down to the zoo.
I have never been.
Take the light rail and then a bus to the zoo.
I've only ever taken the rail. I've never taken a bus.
It's a big old car on wheels.
Yeah, I
you
know.
Get in your seat and you just hang out.
There's just, for me, buses just have too many people. There's too many
people.
factors.
Well, the
That's-
good and the
yeah.
bad news is not as many people riding them lately, which is kind of bad for their funding, but maybe good for people who want a private bus. Yeah. Well, a little bit of good news. If you have an older system, rocking classic DDR4 or something a couple of generations old, and you want to upgrade, or if unfortunately your system is on its way out and you need to upgrade, ASRock is looking out for you. They have launched a motherboard that includes DDR4 and DDR5 memory slots, which would allow you to upgrade to a 12th, 13th, or 14th generation CPU and bring your DDR4 along for the ride as well. So you don't have to worry about skyrocketing RAM prices on DDR5. The H610M Combo 2 is a micro ATX board, and they previously released the H610 Combo, which is a full-size ATX board. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money and upgrade your system, bring along your DDR4, those might be fantastic boards to look at.
How many more steps are we going back in terms of backgrading to the previous hardware and releasing more of?
Yeah, with the 3060 being rumored to be relaunched, and then 12th, 13th, 14th gen CPUs coming back into the limelight. That'd be a couple generations older, but not too bad. Continuing the good news train, Netflix has finally officially confirmed that K-pop Demon Hunters 2 will be on its way soon. So they are bringing back the co-creators. What's going on, Robert?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
You look so panicked for a minute.
You did. I was like, oh no, what's going on? So the announcement confirms that both Kang and Applehans, excuse me if I didn't pronounce that right, the co-creators of K-pop Demon Hunters will return for the sequel in co-director chairs as part of a multi-year project with Netflix. The article does say not to get your hopes up too much because we would probably be waiting until 2029 at the earliest.
Animation does take a long time.
It
does.
So that makes sense.
That and I think the songwriting
Oh, yeah.
for them too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it took I think I heard 9 years they were in
Wow.
production for the first K-pop Demon Hunters.
Okay.
I could be so wrong. I think I just heard it somewhere that they were in there for a long time.
I'd believe it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
They didn't win an Oscar for no reason.
That's right. Yeah.
They did. They did win an Oscar. Speaking of that, the Oscars did happen, so congrats to... Why don't we go through some of the Oscar winners?
Yeah.
If my website will load. So they had a couple of different movies that won. So One Battle After Another that stars Leonardo DiCaprio had 6 wins. Sinners with 4, Frankenstein with 3, and K-pop Demon Hunters with 2.
Wow. Nice.
Michael B. Jordan took home Best Actor for his dual role as Smoke and Stack in Sinners. Jessie Buckley from Hamnet took home the Best Actress award. One Battle After Another won Best Adapted Screenplay. Ryan Coogler, who wrote Sinners, took home the Oscar for Original Screenplay. Sean Penn won Best Supporting Actor.
There's an interesting bar graph here showing wins by distributor.
Yeah.
With 11 going to Warner Brothers and 7 going to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, I gotta see, the National Film Board of Canada is on there with 1. Mm-hmm. They're tied with Disney and Apple.
Disney, Apple, Canal Plus, The New Yorker, Focus Features, Neon, and Pink all tied with 1 apiece.
Yeah.
So Warner Bros. And Netflix dominated the Oscars.
They really did.
They had Amy Madigan. She played creepy Aunt Gladys in Weapons from Warner Brothers. She won Best Supporting Actress. She was also a nominee for the same award back in 1986.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I almost forgot that Weapons came out last year. That movie was really good, though.
Frankenstein took home 3 Oscars, including Best Costume Design and Best Hair and Makeup. F1 from Apple took home Best Sound Prize. Best Editing went to One Battle After Another, and Sinners won Best Cinematography. That's a hard word. K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Animated Feature. There was a little bit of controversy with that one, though.
Why?
So when they won, I believe they had a couple of the singing voices, including the main girl who wrote them all. And as she was finishing up her speech, they started playing the music and lowering the microphone. So none of the others got to speak. There were a couple of bumps I've heard. Avatar Fire and Ash won Best Visual Effects. I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks amazing.
It also won. The fun fact is it had taken home visual effects Oscars for the original Avatar and The Way of Water. And then they had a tie.
A tie?
A tie, yeah. They had between two short films for like it's like the seventh time it's happened overall.
So do you guys agree with all the Oscar wins? Specifically Best Actor?
Tell us how you really feel.
We had talked about whether or not they could add up, double the points for playing two characters in the same film.
Honestly, yeah, I hope that they did.
Yeah.
Whether or not he split his points or got him doubled.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, the videos of him afterwards going to In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
It just constantly couldn't take his eyes off the award. That was pretty nice.
Pretty wholesome, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with the Best Actor. It was nice. Sinners was a good movie.
It was good. It was a wild ride, but it was good. Yeah. Did you see it, Abby?
I have not seen Sinners.
Okay.
Have you seen any of the other movies or any of the other movies that the Best Actors were nominated for?
I have not. Hamnet sounds good.
Okay.
I'm not a big. My dad wants to see F1. He wants to watch it. I'm not a big race car F1.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. But even despite that, I kind of do want to watch it. Yeah, it still looks interesting.
Their album, they've got a bunch of different people on their like soundtrack album. Frankenstein looked really cool. That one's with Jacob Elordi. So that one looked really good.
Well, now you have a list of movies you can check out because they're going to be good. Cause Best Actor Awards nominations.
Yeah.
Even if you don't win, you had to have done a good job to get up there.
There you go. In gaming news, Bethesda has announced that they're bringing the biggest update ever to Starfield, bringing along a host of updates, including a few that were really, really requested from day one. The most important one being a cruise mode that lets you fly between planets in real time. Starfield, for those of you that don't know, is Bethesda's latest game, space epic, where you travel to different planets and you can explore, the galaxy. But the problem with it at launch was that it was more of a fast travel simulator where you would load into one area, small sandbox, and you would fast travel or teleport to another one and explore that area. And if you wanted to travel to another planet, you would teleport to that other planet.
So they want to do what? Hyperspeed now?
No, now they want you to actually be able to fly your spaceship. Before you would teleport between the
How long is that going to take?
I don't know, but it seems like that's the whole point of a game set in space with spaceships.
I'm sorry to inform Bethesda, but if it doesn't take at least a week in real time, then they failed.
Yeah, there's a game called Elite Dangerous where you could get in. It's all in. Well, when I played, it was all in your spaceship. You couldn't get out.
Yeah.
But if you had to go somewhere, you could, jump to that planet. Mm-hmm. You could also just fly there.
Wow.
In real time or whatever real time was in the game, and it would take a long time to get there because space is very big.
Very large.
Your spacecraft accelerates to a speed that streamlines interplanetary travel.
Yes, yeah. But the nice thing is you're not just teleporting to you actually get to see.
Yeah, you can set your ship on autopilot and just go about the rest of your day.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of like being in, I imagine what being in space would be like. That's pretty cool.
I feel like that's what being in Star Wars would be like.
Yeah.
Except
that's what being in a Zooks will be like, guys.
Yeah, you just get in and it takes you there and you don't even have to worry about it. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, the update also includes a new land vehicle, the Moon Jumper, fast travel improvements, new party members, sweeping changes to the crafting systems, including new Resource X tech and revamped old Resource Quantum Essence, as well as a Millie whale pet for your outpost and a space station that serves as your home base. So it seems like quite a few updates to the game.
Yeah, I do recall that being a major complaint when Starfield initially released, like a space game where you're traveling interplanetary, but
could not explore space.
Yeah, you can barely explore space, or you barely interact with the space part of the game.
Yeah, and I understand that it's probably just going to be empty. There's nothing to see out there. But the idea of just flying a spaceship around is pretty appealing.
Yeah, a lot of people love doing that, just flying it around.
I want to know what this Millie whale looks like. That looks kind of cute.
Kind of.
Whale holes on the back.
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
Can you just imagine that thing coming at you in the dark?
Well, it's a pet, so hopefully it'll be nice. But,
They do say that the Millie whale will be a reward, and it cannot follow you into combat.
I'm grateful for that.
you got to protect your pets. Pets do not do combat.
Post up at your outpost.
Nice.
And not do much else than elevate the vibes that you got in bed.
That is pretty cool. I'm okay with that. Give me my Millie whale pet and my space-capable spaceship, and I'm all set. I picked up Starfield at launch, but I haven't played much of it. Maybe this will get me back into it. But not before I spend more time in Marathon.
How long have you spent?
I think about 20 hours all in.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but when all of those hours are spent between the hour of about 10 and 3 a.m., it adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't make it here.
Launch. I know. Yeah. No, not this week, not last night, but launch week, I got on with my brother-in-law and one of his friends, and we played into the wee hours of the morning and had a blast playing Marathon. We were pretty disheartened, though, to find out that in about 2 months, all of our progress will be wiped, because apparently that's the way these extraction shooters work. So, but the major announcement we have here from Marathon is they will be testing duos beginning March 18th. I don't know how that's going to affect game balance, because traditionally it's 3 players. So if one player gets knocked down, one can defend and the other can pick them up. But now if you get knocked down, I guess you're out of luck unless your partner can survive. So the devs seem to be pretty responsive to player feedback, but there is quite a bit of sentiment online that this is not going to be as successful as Arc Raiders. Yeah, and it seems to be holding true that there's a much larger player base on Arc Raiders than on Marathon.
Yeah, it for me. Actually, I don't know much about Marathon. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, well, so you've played quite a bit of Arc Raiders.
Yeah,
the other big extraction shooter out right now.
Yeah, so I can see why. I recall a few people thought that Marathon would be the replacement for Arc Raiders, but they clearly played in two different fashions. So no one from Arc Raiders was going to permanently jump off Arc Raiders to play Marathon unless they in general preferred Marathon's gameplay. But majority of people who already enjoy Arc Raiders obviously already enjoy its gameplay, so it's going to maintain that type of fan base.
I feel like the Marathon player base is much more aggressive and mean.
Yeah, it's more of a
there is no friendly, and I have not had a single friendly interaction in that game. Versus Arc Raiders, people will generally try to use at least the in-game voice chat or just speak to you.
Yeah, whether that means they're going to sneak you from behind and saying that they're friendly and shoot you, or in Marathon, don't even expect the friendly
there
warning.
Is no warning of like, hey, I'm friendly, or I'm just doing my quest. There is shoot.
I can't tell if that makes it more toxic or less.
Yeah, I don't know. At least you go in knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for just a relaxing time online, I probably wouldn't recommend Marathon.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, in other gaming news, Nvidia has released, or shown off, I should say, DLSS 5, and we wanted to get Abby's initial reaction to this.
I have not seen a...
Prepare for the most beautiful imagery being upgraded.
Now, keep in mind, this is NVIDIA's latest and greatest upscaling technology running on 2 RTX 5090s.
Whoa, that is freaky.
So if you want to look at, let's see here, 2 minutes, 20 seconds on that video, or I guess 2 minutes and 10 seconds. You can see the before, off, and on.
Yeah, that is crazy. It is like freaky realistic.
What do you think about the off versus on?
I don't know.
Do you think it's time to get 2 5090s?
No.
So the one 5090 was running the game or the engine or the demo, and the other one was handling the upscaling.
Yeah, I like the realisticness of the character, because I'm looking, it's the from the Resident Evil, but the background with DLSS 5 just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah. I feel like the intentions in the first one is that it's a dark, rainy day. But in the second one, it just kind of eliminates all the creepiness of the first initials.
It kind of eliminates some of the fogginess of it, but it cleans everything up really well. It's just, I think the fogginess and the kind of spooky aspect is part of it.
Yep, definitely. And then a lot of people are complaining that it makes the characters look a little too
They do, yeah, they look a little too real.
Like they got hit by an Instagram filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people online are pretty unhappy about DLSS 5.
Okay.
What is the filter? What was that article? Yassified is the term being thrown around.
Yes.
Or every character looks like a airbrushed influencer. There's a good example at 407. I think that's another clip of Grace. There's one of Leon too at 345.
I was looking for the Hogwarts Legacy section, but I don't see it.
The Leon one looks pretty great.
Yeah.
The Oblivion Remastered looks really great.
Oblivion Remastered looks really good. Starfield doesn't look as good as the Oblivion Remastered, but it's pretty impressive tech to go from the game engine and the base texture to, it seems like they may be also messing with the face geometry or the object geometry.
The Assassin's Creed Shadow looks really good with it on. It kind of brightens, so you're not looking at, they have it where he's standing on a building and just looking at this forest and this village around him. I mean, it does look creepier with DLSS 5 off, but
right. Yeah, in response to the loud but maybe not super widespread backlash, Todd Howard of Bethesda said that with DLSS 5, the artistic style and detail shine through without being held back by the traditional limits of real-time rendering. We're excited to work with this new technology and look to bring DLSS 5 to Starfield and future Bethesda titles.
The article that we link for the announcement of DLSS 5 lets you has a comparison tool. So they just give you a bunch of thumbnails that you can look around on. It almost, in a way, makes the characters seem a little creepier.
It's got that uncanny valley, too perfectly exposed look.
That.
Yeah, I'd almost prefer it more if they left an option where it didn't touch on the characters too much and just maybe updated the lighting on their face instead of making them look entirely different.
Right. Yeah, it not to throw around the S word, but it does look a little bit like AI slop generated imagery. Yeah, like this one here. I mean, granted, the character model isn't great in the base game, but it doesn't help when he's got hyper realistic, but he still has that really listless
with the
look.
Abs?
Yeah.
You see that one in motion? It looks so creepy because his face stays the same while he's
there's
doing
no
action.
expression change. Yeah, well, I don't think there's an expression change on the base texture, or the base face geometry, but it's not helped by the fact that now you can really see that there's no emotion there.
There was another character in this
movie. It's just a weird.
It almost makes them look like they just kind of slapped some very realistic looking characters into these.
Yeah, like the this one I think shows the faces still have that same problem, but the suit looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
the
can see
suit and the environment look amazing.
The
I just wish the faces weren't as
they were
super. You know?
That looks great on the suit wise.
Yeah, the suit looks really good. The environment looks really good.
Everything looks great except the faces.
The face looks like they brought in studio lighting to just
that it's just like
He has his ring light on there.
The ring light just had the eyebrows done. Like it's just ready to go out on the town.
Got a little bit of dirt.
They've turned everyone into models.
Yeah.
Or how they, as they put it, yassifies them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm pretty torn on this because for not for the face tech, but for everything else, seems to be a generational improvement over previous levels of upscaling. I really hope that, I don't know, would they have like a face filter on or off button and then an everything else on or off button.
That would be really great to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard that would be to implement to make it.
I don't know. According to Todd Howard and also Jensen Huang, both claim that these are entirely tunable and that game developers will have a lot of control over what you can do, and you can also just turn it off.
Yes.
But I hope they give you the option to turn it on selectively for different.
That's what I hope,
Types
that
of
that it's a selective.
Yeah, if it's tunable on our half, not just the developers.
Right. Yeah. So if they can tune what they want it to be able to change, and then you as the player can tune whether to have it on or off. Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be nice.
Yeah. You know, I've seen comparisons from this tech to the just regular built-in facial animation and texture work that they did for Death Stranding.
Yeah.
It seems like they were able to do a lot even without something like DLSS 5.
Yeah, Death Stranding's facial recognition technology was very good at the time, and people were showing images from the game that confused people to think that the base models were it was just pictures of them.
Right.
Unfortunately, for the Steam build of Death Stranding 2, it was leaked 2 days ahead of launch, so some PC players are experiencing those hyper-realistic graphics way before they were intended to. Death Stranding 2 just recently became available to preload on Steam. However, some people got access to the encrypted files early and basically put it up on piracy websites, allowing you to download the entire 113 gigabytes of the game in full.
Wow.
Yes. As a result,
So it looks like pirates who have obtained this game through other methods are already able to start playing the game on PC, and I'm sure they're posting stuff online,
Yeah.
spoilers left, right, and center. Yeah.
however, people who pirate the game will be unable to experience the amazing multiplayer features that basically make the game what it is. Honestly, I feel like you're playing a whole different game if you don't experience the features that allow you to witness what other people built in their worlds and it transfers over to yours.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of getting a watered down version, but it is unfortunate that they were leaked like that and people are just pirating it online.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
This is so why we
Essentially,
can't have
yeah.
nice things.
Oh, man. Well, you played Death Stranding 2,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So I experienced the relative to DLSS 5 before it even came out.
Yeah, the pre-DLSS 5, DLSS 5 effects.
And I can't wait to see how it would look on PC, because obviously the greatest PCs can outmatch a console graphically, so it would look even more amazing on a PC. But maybe once the game actually fully comes out and we're able to see those comparisons, it'll be a little more active online where the pictures are, because I haven't seen any from any leaks or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Should be out soon.
Or may already be out.
Depending on how you get your games, it may already be out.
You may already be enjoying it.
Yeah. Please support developers. We need good games.
Yes, support the official release.
Yeah. Well, speaking of developers,
About 9 months ago, Crafton went into Unknown Worlds, who created Subnautica and is currently working on Subnautica 2, and basically gutted their whole leadership team. And that led to everybody's favorite thing. It ended up in court. I feel like we're always talking about things ending up in court. But there is a very, very good outcome to this one. A judge has ordered that the former CEO, Ted Gill, to be reinstated, and that the control over the game's early release schedule be returned to him. They also extended the $250 million earn-out period that is central to the dispute to at least September 15th, 2026. So they're basically all kind of just back in charge after getting gutted, which sucks that they, had to get fired and go to court just to get back in there. But
yeah, so the initial dispute was the judge claimed in their finding that Crafton terminated the Unknown World studio heads, including CEO Gill, specifically to avoid paying out that $250 million bonus that would have been required if Subnautica 2 achieved specific sales targets following its early access launch.
yeah. So they did extend the base earnout test period, 258 days. And the law firm that represents Unknown Worlds actually retains the contractual right to extend this period even further to March of 27. So it's crazy.
Yeah. The article doesn't list what the specific sales targets were.
No, we can probably, I'm going to take a personal assumption and say that it probably has something to do with probably the amount of people playing and the amount of money that they earn.
Right. Yeah. So if you like Subnautica, maybe check out Subnautica too.
Yeah. And it's not a game for me. I think we talked about Subnautica on here. I recommended it as a game of the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the original. Yeah.
Because I think I remember saying that I would hate this game. And
You're not for exploring the vast, unending ocean.
stop.
No.
With scary creatures lying below.
Just stop. All right. Well, the Steam machines,
They're still not here.
they're still not here. However, game developers are starting to look at how they get their games certified to run on these Steam machines. Now, if a game, so Valve announced at GDC 2026 that if you have a game that's verified for Steam Deck, it will be already machine verified.
Yes.
The performance still targets 30 FPS at 1080p, but the machine performance is estimated to be 6 times that of the deck. So it shouldn't be that difficult for a lot of developers to
Right.
get it over to the machine.
So on the Steam Deck, the performance requirements were pretty ambiguous on the handheld. But they did have some things like text had to be readable at 720p or 800p. The resolution of the device had to have full or partial controller support and also run on Linux, which is the operating system, or SteamOS, which is Linux that the system runs on. So the Steam machine is now giving an actual hard performance target of 1080p, 30 frames a second.
Yep.
For DogHouse Systems customers, you'd be hard pressed to find a game that your system will not run at 1080p, 30 frames per second, unless you're running an early build of Borderlands 4 without DLSS. Then maybe not, but yeah, no. So pretty reasonable performance requirements.
Yeah. They do say that there are over 25,000 games that are verified or playable on the handheld this year. So if you do end up getting a machine, you'll have probably over 25,000 games to choose from.
Yeah. When it releases.
When it releases.
If it releases.
Yeah.
It's been pushed back quite a few times. So
The other hardware launching, the Steam Frame, verification is a bit stricter. So it is designed for standalone play only. Verification requires that the game run at 90 FPS in VR mode or 30 frames at 720 in 2D mode. The UI must be legible, considering that it is placed right in front of eyeballs. So,
it must also support the Steam Frame controllers. Yeah, I think that's the system I'm more interested in is the frame, the VR headset. Looks pretty interesting.
So if you have a Steam Deck verified game, it will have to be tested for the Steam Frame before you can get it verified. And those that aren't supported because of compatibility issues or performance issues will automatically be categorized as unsupported by the frame. Like Lorenzo said, there is absolutely no release date for either one of these, considering that
RAM prices being what they are.
we're still a little bit in the trenches on this one.
Speaking of being in the trenches,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Epic Games. They're
feel like-
unfortunately having to go ahead.
No, sorry, I feel like we're always talking about Fortnite. And
It's just such a large and
Yeah,
popular
yeah.
game. Yeah, it's
One of the
everywhere.
Biggest games of all time. And that's what makes it so surprising that their in-game currency value is dropping by 20%, which means that your money will get you 20% less V-Bucks than previously. Fortnite's price is normally $8.99 for 1,000 V-Bucks, but that's unfortunately moving to 800 V-Bucks for the same $8.99 price from March 19th.
Yeah.
The brand is giving players over a week to get used to the new system, and Epic Games says it's making the change to help pay the bills.
So if you're hearing this podcast, I hope you have already stocked up on your pre devalued V-Bucks, because unfortunately, we're past the 19th.
The top end, most expensive package that costs $89.99 would have previously gotten you 13,500 V-Bucks. Will now get you 12,500 V-Bucks.
Wow.
How much is a typical, do either of you know, like a typical like skin or something in the game?
Don't look at me.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think there's different rarities to skins. So
Yeah.
they're all going to be different. I think your basic run-in-the-mill skin will probably be 800 V-Bucks. So that exact pricing on the $8.99.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, usually you would have a skin and then you'd have some left over.
A little
for
left
another.
over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I recall I think we covered this before, where some place released a law in regards to that, saying that you need to be able to buy an exact amount.
Is that pushing this change? If that's the exact amount,
Yeah, that's what
Is it-
just.
We
Is it
have
not-
talked about I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt that this is in relation to that,
it
because
just happens to line up very
Yeah.
neatly.
with the basic
Yeah.
one, because there's still the legendary skins, which are like 1,200, which
Okay.
I don't see any of these covering exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. They're also ending their bonus rewards. So players used to be able to earn up to 500 in-game currency extra by completing tasks, allowing you to recycle your original 800 V-Bucks for the next season pass and spend it on further cosmetic.
I kind of find their justification for this a little funny,
Yeah.
because they just announced a new event where the top 5 players in the Fortnite tournament that they have are going to be receiving a free 5080.
Really?
Yes, they're giving out free
that is a
5080s
large chunk of money.
after cutting prices to help pay
maybe
the
they
bills.
weren't planning on doing this, and then the price of 5080s went through the roof, and now they have to recoup some of that cost.
Man, that stinks.
Maybe they were going to do 5090s, and they're like, wait, we got to pay the
Knock
bills.
down 5080s, and now actually let's bring in a little more income to cover those, all that VRAM. Well, on the flip side of that, I think there's a little bit of good news coming out of Epic.
Yeah. The CEO and co-founder of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, has bought 50,000 acres of land over 15 counties in, I want to say, North Carolina, which is roughly 78 square miles of forest. So he began purchasing these forests and wilderness that were at risk of development, so that way they could just end up being conservation efforts for wildlife and for future generations to enjoy. The single largest purchase he has made was a 7,000 acre forest in the Blue Ridge foothills called Box Creek Wilderness. It was reported that he spent $15 million on the area that contains more than 130 rare or threatened species of both animal and plant. So,
Yeah, and it looks like he uses a limited liability company to purchase the land, holds it for a few years, and then either donates it to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, sells it as a steep discount to state parks, or hands it into land trusts. In any of those cases, he also ensures there's a legal structure that makes development on the land impossible regardless of future ownership.
Yeah.
So just to let the land be natural land.
in 2021, Sweeney donated 7,500 acres in the Ronan Highlands to the Southern Appalachian Highlands Conservancy,
Is it,
which would make it the largest private land donation in North Carolina. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
and then a little bit more good news. I found this article, and I want to give this dog a good pet. The FBI has a now retired Labrador named Iris, who sniffed out laptops, thumb drives, and other technology that people might have missed. But she's a little tripod.
Aww.
She is missing her front leg, one of her front legs. So she was trained to smell technology devices, and in 2016, she sniffed around a suspect's house and found a thumb drive in a jar of pennies and a detonated cell phone motherboard buried in the backyard.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You can't hide your DogHouse system from her.
Nope.
No.
So that helped put that guy away for life. In case you need a little bit of good news, there's a good girl that can smell.
Yeah.
They can smell laptop parts.
Such a good pup.
Yeah. If I lose my 5090, hopefully she'll be able to run around and find one for me.
Yeah. Her and her partner conducted 2,000 searches and discovered nearly 20,000 hidden thumb drives, micro SD cards, laptops, cell phones, and everything in between.
Wow, I never knew that you could, I guess you could train a dog to specifically smell and hunt for anything as long as they're trained specifically in that target, but I never just thought about circuitry or things like that.
Solder, or as we Texans call it, solder, maybe. Yeah, in pretty much everything. I don't know.
Yeah, so she inspired the FBI to establish an actual formal training for these tech sniffing dogs, and they have been training a cute little black lab named Nix to replace Iris. Her partner is actually deciding on whether or not to carry on and help with Nix. Yeah. So,
a nice heartwarming story in light of all the stuff. Yeah,
she's probably busted a whole lot of criminals.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're looking for something to play, Robert, Waldo, who has previously been on the podcast, and I are all picking up Crimson Desert, which is out the week of recording. But there's another game I cannot, more highly recommend. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster is now on Steam. It's first time ever on PC, and it is a classic turn-based JRPG. So 4 heroes, you have to collect the crystals of the elements and battle evil. It is a classic RPG. If you like any of the original Final Fantasy games, this will be right up your alley. And probably has one of my favorite soundtracks of all time for a video game. It's fantastic, even if you just want to listen to some cool music.
Even over Persona?
Over Persona, definitely. Yeah, I think this is my favorite video game soundtrack of all time. Yeah, Revo is the composer, and he performs a lot of, will get on stage live and he plays an accordion for a lot of the tracks. It's pretty cool. So it is out now and is on sale for 20% off for $31.99. We also have a few epic games of the week.
We do. They are offering Electrician Simulator. Take on the electrician role and learn the profession's basics. Install sockets, repair worn out equipment, assemble broken appliances, replace light bulbs, and lay wires at your customers' homes. Be sure to check everything twice. With electricity, there are no jokes. World of Warship's Epic Anniversary Tachibana Pack, where you can get a premium Japanese destroyer, some epic permanent camouflages to celebrate their 5th year in Epic.
So pick up either of those for free on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
Well, that'll about do it for our podcast this week. We hope you all are doing well and to bring you more good news in the future.
If you disagree with any of the Oscars picks, go ahead and send an email, and I'll personally respond to it.
Send an email and let us know if you disagree with those.
I will hold you to that.
We'll just forward them right along to Robert's personal inbox, and you'll get a response. That's the DogHouse System podcast guarantee.
you email Robert.
Abby, if they want to get a hold of us to give us their Oscar picks, how can they contact us?
Yeah, you can shoot us an email at podcast@doghousesystems.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 972-810-4347, or you can DM us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and Threads at Doghouse Systems.
That'll about do it.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Toodaloo.